y'all doing?
Great.
Man, we're great.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm here in daddy daycare. So yeah.
busy day.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing next week.
Yeah.
Getting the band back together.
Absolutely. We're really excited to have you back. We're huge fans of y'all's music.
Yeah. I'm super excited to come back home. I'm in Nashville right now. Where I live.
I'm from Nashville originally, so that's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Awesome.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, super excited to come back home to play at the Arts Garage, especially.
Absolutely. We can't wait to have y'all next week. Well, this video, whenever you watch it, it'll be next Friday, September 16th. The Smoogies will be here. And yeah, so I'm so excited to talk to y'all because we've been watching your videos and are huge fans of all of y'all's writing and just the amount of I don't know, there's just something about y'all's band that really is wonderful to listen to and watch. So I was wondering if you could tell everyone about how y'all met and started the Smoogies.
Well, initially, I met Harvel back when I was maybe 21, and we met sitting in together on a show in Miami Beach at Van Dyke's with a great piano player, Emmett Cohen. So we actually sat in together and we hit it off right away. A couple of years later, I met Dave through another great trumpet player, Jean Caz. Ended up on some gigs together and just had the chemistry with both of them playing and played with them for a long time. And then they always talked about Vaughn to me. And I heard Vaughn's name for many, many years until we finally linked up later and got to sit in and play together. And then it was the same type of thing. It was just like that instant chemistry and just felt it right away every time playing with these guys. Fast forward a couple of years later, Harvel and I were like curating a show at the Anderson. We had like a monthly series, and he had the idea, let's get two drummers and try something different. And then Vaughn's name obviously got thrown in the mix. So we started off together, just showing up at this bi-monthly series, and we're just improvising. And that was like the first formation of the Smoogies. And we just would show up, play, and slowly develop songs, and everyone just had ideas and improvised stuff. And that's kind of how the band got started.
Yeah, we met. It's kind of the same for me on my end. I met. I've known Dave. Me and Dave played at the same church for many, many years. And while I was at that church, Dave kind of inspired me to go back to school. And then when I was going to Broward College at the time, and there was a concert, and I think Wendy Peterson and her trio was playing, and I saw Harvel. I was a student. Harvel was like a guest. And that was my first time seeing him. But then later on down the line, like we got introduced and found out that Dave and Harvel had been homeboys. They had been tight already from the church world. So we all have been in these mix of worlds, and that's kind of how we kind of met each other. And then Dion was the last one that I met probably about 5 years ago. And literally the moment that we played together, it was just like an instant click. And then the first time we hung out, it was just like an instant friendship. Right. Isn't that right? Instant friendship and brotherhood. And that comes out in our music. And that's definitely how the band got formed, with us hanging out, improvising, but literally it's just like, it's a hangout. And that's why you can feel that in the music, you know?
Absolutely. When you know. That's awesome. So my next question, it's kind of a two-part question, is how you thought of the name, the Smoogies, and what are y'all's biggest musical influences that kind of helped shape to what you are today?
Well, the name came from, like, we were just hanging out in my apartment, I think, rehearsing, And Harvel, the drummer, if you don't know him, he just you'll see him at the show, and he's on the mic. You know, he's just one of the funniest people we know, and he just has the best one-liners. So out of nowhere, he just comes out and just, you know, he has an explanation for everything, and he's like the Smoogies, and we all look at him like Smoogies, and then, you know, he goes into his whole thing. You know, yeah, it's like a musical smoothie. It has a little bit of everything. Each member has their own thing, and so he explains it, and we're like, actually, that makes a ton of sense. But he'll always say something, and we just laugh and crack up, and it's like, it'll seem hilarious at first, and then it ends up making a lot of sense, and we're like, it just stuck ever since then, and it just made sense.
Awesome.
Absolutely. That's it. That's the story through and through. It's super organic. Like, it was literally a hangout moment, and yeah, there's a musical smoothie of just things. As far as our influences go, I know that individually as players, we each have our own influences that come from our culture, you know, even where we're from. Like, us being from South Florida has a lot to do with our sound, you know, because we're surrounded by, you know, so many different cultures in one place. And so I think that all comes out into the music. I wouldn't say that there is a band that we have all been like, okay, this is what we're going for. Like, I think we just got together and we go for a sound. I love the Coltrane Quartet because they went for a sound. It wasn't about sounding like anybody else. And while we don't, our music is not like exactly like them, I think the motion and how we move as a group, I'm influenced by how the Coltrane Quartet moves as a group. And I feel like the Smoogies, like, we all have that understanding, and we all move as a unit as well, you know.
Absolutely. That's super informative, and that's so cool. There's so much thought into everything y'all do, so it's really great to hear. Yeah, so I guess my next question will be specifically about this show coming up on September 16th. Like, what can people expect at your show, and kind of elaborate on the concert that y'all are putting on?
Well, it's a new show we're bringing. We haven't really done it at Arts Garage before in the last 2 times we played. So we've added a lot to our show now that we're playing with backing tracks. And we have, like, basically we like sculpted a brand new show that has yet to be premiered in South Florida. So we did a tour earlier this year and kind of developed that show. And this is what we're presenting. So we're really excited to showcase that. And it's all music off our latest album called People Music. And that's basically like the overarching concept of the whole show, that everyone's involved. All the music is for the people, and there's just a ton of little themes throughout the show that you'll hear. There's like moments in the show where everyone has a solo, and everyone takes, you know, individual solo, and so you'll hear everyone's personality and the whole band come together. We get the audience singing with us, so it's just like a whole hangout. Vaughn can elaborate more.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It really is a hangout. Like, what people can expect from the Smoogie show is how do I put this? It's a collaborative effort. Like, the audience is a part of the performance. It's not just us playing and them watching, but us literally bringing our world and bringing every member of the audience into our world, because what's people music without the people? So it's literally a live experience of engagement. It's something exciting. There's something there for everyone. There's ballads, there's, you know, up-tempo stuff, and everything is different. No 2 songs are the same as well. So yeah, I would say come open, come ready to groove. That's one thing that's always going to be consistent. There will always be a groove. So be ready to dance, be ready to move, and enjoy yourself with us. Yeah, so the hangout.
I'm glad they put us on a Friday night too, because Friday in the Ave is a good time. So we're playing music that's gonna fit that energy on the Ave on Friday night. So it's definitely worth starting your night at the Arts Garage, and then you can continue your night on Atlantic Ave. Hit all the clubs or whatever later.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I personally cannot wait for y'all's show next week. I'm sure a lot of people are super pumped. I have one last question. This one's a little silly, but y'all recently went viral on Instagram, I believe, maybe. And I think it was from a show at Arts Garage that y'all did a couple years ago. If you could just tell everyone a little bit about that, what happened.
So we were playing a song off of our debut album, Planet Smoogies, a song called Trapanova. We were playing it, and usually around the solo section, it gets pretty intense, and Harvel, he comps for me on that solo, and it got intense, and he had like a Brian Blade moment where the snare just went down and then the mic went down with it, and it was so crazy. Like the way it happened so organically, and it was so funny, but everybody clapped. Nobody was like, they laughed, but they also clapped. And I think they clapped because the moment was real. It was organic. It was as funny as it was just like, yeah, that was supposed to happen, and we were okay with it. And y'all are cool enough with us because y'all are the people behind People Music to be okay with it, with that happening, and it just be an organic moment. And I think it was actually super wonderful, and that kind of further proves the idea and concept behind the people being a part of the performance and not just being audience watching it and not being a part of it. They were a part of that real moment. It was hilarious though, and if it were to happen to somebody in the band, it would definitely be Harvel.
Yeah. So like we're all pretty funny. Like our group text is just constant jokes and good times. So when stuff like that happens, we all just roll with it, and we're always laughing on stage, like throwing curveballs musically and on the mic to each other. So it's just funny when that happens. I remember when it went down, and I look at Dave because he's not playing in that moment. Dave's just sitting there clapping and laughing too, and I just lost it when I saw Dave just like in that moment. But yeah, I'm glad Jazz Memes reposted us. It was really cool with them to give us a shout out, and I know those guys are great musicians down here too. So
yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you all both for taking the time for me to talk to you about your music, and we're really looking forward to your show next week on September 16th. And everyone that hasn't got their tickets yet, go ahead and go to www.artsgarage.org and grab your ticket or 10, and we'll see you then.
I got to give a Delray shout out because I'm from Delray Beach, so this is my hometown, and I hope all my Atlantic High School friends come through, and 561 everyone come through.